We just received our Sunlu AMS Heater 3D printing mate to replace the lid on the Bamboo Labs AMS systems. Let's install and see what it takes to make it run. Open the box. Here is the heating unit, the bag of clips and tools you'll need, the power cord, the manual, and of course a little Sunlu pamphlet to go with it. Here is the AMS unit we will be upgrading. First thing we'll want to do is take out the filament reels, and if you have any desiccant bags in there, take those out as well. Next up, power off for the printer. It's safe to do that just to make sure there's less chance of a power issue. The next step, you want to flip this thing on your side, but I would recommend unplugging this power connector here so it makes it easier for you to tip it up, because we'll actually need to be removing screws from the bottom. Now that you have it on the side, actually I had enough cable length on this one. I could leave this cable plugged in. I thought it was going to be short, but it was long enough. So up inside here on the back side, and down here in the back are two screws. Sunlu actually includes a tool to help take the screws out in these two sections. If you have your own drivers, it's the standard 2mm bit for these screws. Once you have all four screws removed, this lid should pop right off. I still see one of the pre-install hinges is here. Looks like the other one may have fell off, so we may have to dig it out from inside. So the other hinge was just sitting inside here, so if it stays in here, it'll just slide right out. Now you are ready to install your new lid. You want to take the accessory bag that came with this and take two new hinges out and take four of the screws, and you want to slide the new hinges here and here in the same position as the old hinges. Now these hinges can only be installed one way because there's only a hole on one side. As you see these two little plastic pieces here. The hinge will need to slide into those little gaps. So you'll take your hinge with the hole pointing towards the metal rod here, and these two holes here, these holes will actually hold the screws once it's mounted into the AMS. So you'll want to slide it in and point it up. That way it'll slide in perfectly, and if you have a good fit, it should slide right into place, flip down, and fill in those gaps. And the process is exactly the same on the other side. Lift up, slide in, and fill the gap. Once you have the new hinges on, these should slide right into the same slot as the old hinges. As you can see, it's all sitting smooth and should close fairly easily. Now, with this heater in here, it's going to be a little heavier than the old lid, so make sure you have a hold of it and you set it down properly and don't let it just slam down. You want to flip your unit over one last time and reinstall the two screws up the top and the two screws at the bottom. The new unit comes with its own screws. It looks like you might be able to use your screws from the old AMS, but I recommend using the new screws. The new hardware just cuts out a lot of issues. And before anybody asks, yes, the new screws are the same 2mm size screws. Once all four screws are installed, go ahead and set the AMS back up on its stand. And go ahead and plug any wires back in that you may have unplugged. You can now plug in the power cord for the new heater. Once you have the new dryer plugged in, you want to go ahead and turn on the switch on the back. Now this heater will run fully independently power-wise from the AMS unit itself. So I turn on my printer before I turn on this unit. That's why you see the lights blinking in the AMS. Once you turn the power plug on, turn this on, and now you're ready to set your settings to whatever you need. You can set your temperature, the material you have, and how long you want the heater to run. And this is how you upgrade your AMS unit with the Sunlu filament dryer. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments. And if there's any other videos you'd like for us to do demos on, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to do it.